more of a utility. Just the area denial, the zone denial from the enemy team, and it's very easy for them to Widowmakers go, hey, you're in my sightlines now because you had to run away from the Dragon Strike. We can easily just pop your head.
Well, Sit is out and Mirror is back in. The Victor from Oasis going to be commanding the hand zone now as their projectile resident specialist, whereas KSP is going to be banished back to his Widow to duel with Nesh. And it's not an enviable task, but he's done it admirably thus far. Tri-Spear already losing quite a bit of his health as our overlays are the wrong way around.
Mikey A and Nesh are going to be the DPS players. First up, Hurricane and Happy Cool jumping back into the roster. Mikey A already stamping his mark though. Insomniac and Mirror are going to fall.
There they are, and it's back to the drawing board here for Bazooka Puppiez. Happy Cool is going to push him on out, and I think this may well have been this could have been a plan change, I imagine. Just bring in Happy Cool now. We need the stability on the team. We just need to get back to basics, back to British Hurricane. And they appear for the first 50 seconds here to be holding rather fast. It's a small sample size to make any sweeping claims off of, but KSP goes for a grapple shot there and is not quite so lucky. Mirror also out of luck.
All right, 3 of 3 right now. Mikey is hitting all the headshots with the arrows, and that is going to get a raise. And Tri-Spear extremely low. Fusion's got the call out, jumps straight on top of him and secures the kill on him too. Now Mikey A's built himself up a nice little ultimate, and in fact so the rest of British Hurricane as well. Crusade healing up the rest of the tank line will net him a Valkyrie.
And Fusion's is so much more confident to move forward now, because Happy Cool's here, Happy Cool's his buddy. They're doing the old buddy system, holding hands before they cross the street and whatnot, making sure that Fusion isn't taking too much damage when he goes in. And when Fusion doesn't take that much damage because of the defense matrix, that also means that not only do you not lose your main tank, which is a huge boon, it also means that Bazooka Puppiez are having trouble building up ults as quickly.
Well, there's Nesh popping his ultimate. That Emphasite's now activated for British Hurricane. Mirror is going to be spotted out here. He's going to have to be very careful. Defense Matrix already eating those arrows. Mirror is sending around the corner. However, KSP wins out on the Widow duel for the time being. Fusions gets the call out, however. KSP gets set extremely low, and now they're corralling him into that small health pack room. Although, I say that, Fusion jumps straight back in, gets a little bit of bounce damage, but Mete was there to receive the Winston in all his glory, and Mirror activating that self-destruct, it seems, just to make sure Happy Cool can get back in that mech. And now Mirror is just popping off. This is what he likes to do, just sit back, relax, wait for the rest of his team to dive on in and just pick off the weak target.
And when it comes to these sort of sniper heroes like the Widowmaker and the Hanzo, they can be incredibly streaky and very dependent on player mentality, and we really see that here when it comes to KSP and Mirror. Once they get one pick, you can argue that it just makes the composition fall apart, but also it gets in your head as a DPS player. Okay, I'm popping off now, I'm on fire, I'm ready to go, and that can really help affect how well you're aiming and how well you're hitting the shots when you're more confident in yourself.
Well, Mirror should be pretty confident right now. He's got a lot to work with, as well as the rest of Bazooka Puppiez also. Tri-Spear has that Transcendence, fairly important, especially when you're coming up against Mikey A's ultimate. Nesh has actually switched over from the Widowmaker, valuing the Tracer here, maybe just to distract KSP and distract Mirror from anybody else, but Mirror's not quite so distracted. Has his eyes set on the sights of Nesh, and he's going to find a kill. They're both Dragons and Transcendence usage here by Bazooka Puppiez, so 2 ultimates invested in the fight. We'll see if they can find anything more. Mirror dashing forwards, getting a lot of those Storm Arrows into the mech of Happy Cool. He had to retreat around the corner at self-destruct, perfectly placed to scatter everybody else out, meaning Happy Cool gets demech'd and almost instantly killed. Mirror ends up securing it, and now Bazooka Puppiez are on the point.
British Hurricane already making the emergency swaps. Mikey A's over to the May. Bocket's used for Transcendence in a less than ideal position right now.
Used inside the bubble, so only one person received that healing. That May is going to wall herself off. Mikey A is still on the, or at least trying to get on the point. They're still managed to secure almost 2 ticks here. Happy Cool is finding the kill onto Tonic, so 1 tanky member now down for Bazooka Puppiez, meaning that KSB is going to have to be a little bit more careful. Even Mikey A finding a kill onto Mirror. The stalling of the May working out for them rather well. We'll see if Mikey actually wants to switch or he wants to do something else, and they're going to actually find a good stagger also on Mete.
See, I don't like the... I talked about confidence earlier for Bazooka Puppiez and how it can be a boon to sniper heroes, but I don't think it's as much of a boon to Mercies. Insomniac there, popping the Valkyrie after Tonic was already lost. The Mirror was instantly taken down as well. I think after you lose your main tank, it's just something you need to know about assault maps, that it's very hard to take them when you can't really put yourselves on the point to contest against the heroes that British Hurricane are bringing out. And because they wasted that Valkyrie on a lost fight, they're not going to have it available for a far more favourable one in the future.
Well, they're going to jump back on the point, and Tonic is going to get discorded, so a little bit more careful he's going to have to play. Nesh once again going down to Mirror. Not having a good day at all, and Fusions almost took the plunge. Happy Cool is going to find the kill onto Tri-Spear, however, but a Resurrection is going to be there to help him out. A self-destruct to find the remake for Happy Cool. Is this going to be their fight? We'll have to wait and see. Mirror still moving forwards, however, everybody is corralled in that small corner. Transcendence coming through from Tri-Spear, not quite enough to save Crusade. KSB is going to find the kill, and Mira finding his like for like, and another Transcendence coming here for Bok to make sure everybody stays alive on that point. Issue is now, KSB hasn't got a really good sight line. Everybody's protected by that bubble.
Tri-Spear found himself in a less than ideal place after the use of that Transcendence, and Mira's just looking for anything he can get right now. What he's going to have to get is the hell out of dodge, because he's lost most of his teammates, and before long, Happy Cool and Fusions are going to descend upon him like a ton of bricks.
Yeah, that's exactly what they've been doing time and time again. KSB is someone you have to get under control.
Look at
this
Fusions
guy
making this flank.
is pretty dangerous on the Widowmaker. I remember speaking to Chow about it. He says this guy's a monster. As soon as he gets going, this guy definitely does not stop. Mira trying to go for the re-engage onto the Winston. That's going to jump the rest of the snipers. Nesh finds his revenge on KSB, and in fact on Tri-Spear as well. British Hurricane, they're coming back with a vengeance in this map, Harry. Determined to hold Voskaya on this second map point. On this second point, 2 minutes remaining. However, have got a lot to work with too. So Nesh using that pulse bomb rather readily, in fact. I think he did miss it too, because nothing came up on the kill feed.
We said back to basics, Jaws, and yeah, he did get the D-Mech onto Meta, who will now have to swap over to the Tracer to get back into his mech on D.Va, and that's because he can't afford to go in and potentially die trying to get his mech back, and that means that they are going to be trading time for the D.Va ultimate charge. We talked about British Hurricane going back to basics, and it feels like that's exactly what they're doing right now. They've got the 2 DPS, they're having reliable dives from Fusions, they're getting backed up with great DPS.
Mira is going to hold the high ground with Tri-Spear. Is going to jump forward as well. Now Insomniac has popped the ultimate to keep his tanks alive on that point. Mercy is so good at doing so. Not against the Widow normally. There come the Dragons to corral everybody from British Hurricane onto the point, but high and dry sits Crusade up in the air near that skybox. Sonic is going to get resurrected in the fight as he was the first to fall, and Mikey A finds Mete's mech, so a big loss here for the side of Bazooka Puppiez as they lose yet another member in Tri-Spear. Mira trying to do all he can, build up another ultimate. He does find another headshot, but it might not be enough for him. He is almost all alone. He's also got the Tracer zipping around the point, but KSB's not going to be able to do anything, not against Happy Cool's mech.
They trade out, but trades aren't good enough on assault maps. You need a clean wipe, and you need positioning on the point to make it work, and they're not able to do that right now. Bazooka Puppiez, they are relying very much upon this sort of combination. KSP is now over onto the Tracer. He's got himself up a pulse bomb. He wants to try and brawl out on the floor with Nesh. He may think he has an advantage there, doesn't want to play the Widowmaker anymore. The thing is, right now, he isn't doing that much damage. Maybe he needs to corral Fusions a little bit more, punish him for these long dives he consistently makes onto Insomniac, onto Tri-Spear, and onto Mira. But you can't dive Mira if he's dead.
No, you definitely cannot. KSB looking for something in the back line. He has got the pulse bomb. It's going to try and find something. Finds the stick. Big play. He's going to force the Transcendence as well, so they don't have that defensive tool to use, but they might not even need it here, Harry. 20 seconds, and the self-destruct is launched onto the point, as well as those Dragons clear everybody out, but there was no one there. Now Mikey A is going to make sure everybody cannot get through that door. They're buying as much time as possible, that there is overtime to fight for. Bazooka Puppiez, they're fairly scrappy, is definitely in their name and nature. Nesh has got another pulse bomb ready to go. However, still contesting the point is KSP, who dashes away, hasn't got a recall, but he does get the large health pack. Tonic does find the kill onto Bok as well. So again, another big kill for Bazooka Puppiez. They just need to make sure they stick.
The punishing is there. Mikey A is under pressure, but Crusade's got the heals.
Yeah, only 1 tick. Still acquired here for Bazooka Puppiez. There's still all to fight for. Happy Cool does remech using that self-destruct, gets instantly pulse bomb, and out the mech he goes again. KSB is going to get killed by Nesh, however, found the dirty little one clip as he does kill the Tracer. Nesh trying to get back onto the point, and it is very, very easy now for British Hurricane to stall the rest of the members out. Amira is going to jump onto that Doomfist, however, the May is Bay, and Bucket is going to jump on that one. Mikey A does send out the Dragons and finds the kill onto Insomniac, meaning the fight should be near enough over. Mira does launch his way onto the points, but British Hurricane managed to defend second.
They do manage to defend, though. Bazooka Puppiez, they did get 65.5%, so they can consider this rather winnable, especially after that first point hold on Eichenwald. And now, once again, British Hurricane are in the pilot seat, shall we say. They're ready to retake control of this series, potentially, or at least keep themselves from defeat. They can grasp up here, get to the 1-0, get to the 2, take us potentially to a 5th map.
When you're in these situations as well, 2 down in a series, you are looking at the back staff, the coaching staff, Shifty, just mentally prepare them for this next game, and it seems to have worked for them, in all honesty. Bringing Hafikul back onto the roster, like you mentioned before, this seniority in the tank line.
Esteemed veteran.
feels a little bit more safe as well, and you can see it's obviously working out for them. Voskaya was their map pick, of course, and they clearly favour this map over any others, and British Hurricane are going to go on the offense. We'll see what they want to roll without the gate, but it seems to be you got to put Nesh back on that Hanzo. There's no way you take him off.
Yeah, Nesh has just been pretty impressive on that Hanzo, and Mikey A. Also, you can see the variability in this roster, and just that I'm pretty sure Kib, Hafikul, Nesh, and Mikey A all play pretty top-tier Hanzos, and you never really know who's going to come out on that. And really, what we were talking about before, when you try and figure out the British Hurricane roster, they brought in Nesh sort of like as a Widow specialist, and you assume that the Widow is going to be played when you're going up against him. British Hurricane may be able to try and use that assumption made of them as a mind game, just psychological warfare, if you can try and outsmart a dog. Can you use psychological warfare on a puppy? It seems cruel.
It seems cruel. They're too cute, especially their logo.
Pavlov did it.
Yes, that's very true. Oh, poor Pavlov dog. Feels bad. Well, Bazooka Puppies are going to be on the defense. Hopefully not too rattled. They're not certainly phased by these games either. Very high they were coming off into this series. You've got to imagine taking 2 games off the Season 1 champs, and now it's Nesh on the Hanzo, like you mentioned. Rather classic setup from Bazooka Puppies, caving KSP in the backline, as well as Mira sitting on the opposite ledge.
And of course, they don't have Sit this time to try and brawl out in the back like they did on Eichenwald first point defense, who was always a pain towards Bucket and Crusade, who've already taken quite a bit of damage, but it's not going to be followed up. There's going to be time to heal here for British Hurricane. Going to reset and go again.
They're going to get onto that point now. They are just dueling out. Mikey A, the Welsh warrior, trying to duel out Bazooka Puppy's backline, although he knows they are rather dangerous if he gets close to them, but he's going to punish Tonic for taking this rather backwards route on top to try and get some heals. And with 2 members down, and Mira is going to follow. This could be a rather large problem for Bazooka Puppies. However, still having that high ground, they're going to need to contest eventually. They're going to do just that with Mete. However, British Hurricane, they're going to have faster spawns. Fusion just spawning now.
Coordination there from British Hurricane getting much better. They made sure Mikey A was corralling in the back, took down Tonic, and made sure that the 3 members of Bazooka Puppies who were on the high ground were looking towards him. That meant that Fusions elsewhere could get the 1v1 against Mirror and remove that Hanzo from the fight.
Yeah, they're going to jump back straight back into the point. There's the Valkyrie being popped from British Hurricane. Mikey A takes a mean arrow, but he's going to find a nice clip into Mirror. And Sticks also, it gets Tri-Spear and Insomniac. 3 kills, and Tonic's going to donate him the 4th. He knew it was all over. Quick reset from Mete, but Hurricane are going to be able to get onto the point and even start accruing time now.
Yeah, you've got to get on there and stop it from accruing a tick, but Fusions and Hafikul are already there, and they're so close to already getting the first tick. It's been ticked over.
6 minutes in the time back, and they've already acquired a tick seconds after capping that first point. Mikey A with the quad kill to start them off is going to do a fantastic job of just making sure Hurricane have all the time to work with. A tick already acquired. Now they can go for the small reset to make sure they know where they stand. Oh, Mira jumps straight into the self-destruct range. Not sure it is going to matter too much. However, as Bazooka Puppies are there to claim a couple of kills.
Should have bought themselves some bamboozle insurance because the shenanigans from Hafikul were up and at him. And now Tonic went in too deep. The counter-attack could come through.
The Discord orb was on him and he went down like a sack of potatoes. And now Nesh is on the point with the rest of his squad. Fusions finds the kill on Mira yet again. Nesh moving forward, has to find the kill onto Mete, who's going to remech, and Nesh goes down. Only quite clipped by the self-destruct, but it might matter in the end. KSP is going to fall to his like-for-like in Mikey A. Tonic still trying to chase the Baby Diva, however, he has got the backup of Fusions. He ends up going down in the end, and that Sticky Bomb not quite doing all of anything. However, that Transcendence from Tri-Spear, keeping everybody alive and well on the point for Puppies.
I don't like the Valkyrie, they were pretty low, and now huge pressure still being applied. Mikey A also going down. This could be over for British Hurricane, but of course they've still got 5 minutes and they're still brawling out. They can't get a clean wipe either side.
Bok is going to fall, so that will definitely end the push for British Hurricane. He does, however, have that Transcendence available to him. Oak Bank looking rather bare for both teams at the moment.
Yeah, it's looking rather bare, of course, and I was trying to see, can you call it puppies? No, you can't. I'm just done with the animal puns, Jaws. I apologize to you and the audience. I've let you all down. But Bok, it's not going to let British Hurricane down. The Transcendence ready to go. Going to keep everyone nice and safe. So move forward onto a point, and they've got to force Bazooka Puppies to contest. They've only got 25% worth of leeway here.
KSP very low. Has Pulse Bomb also. Nesh trying to unleash a hail of arrows in his direction. Doesn't quite get it as she was ducking and making sure she gets good use of that control key. Bok using that Transcendence now, moving forward. Insomniac still on the sidelines. Then they're going to need to take out that main heal. However, that tick almost went over to British Hurricane. They're going to have to be careful. Self-destruct narrowly avoided as well. But with Mira going down to Fusions once more, a revitalized Fusions, it definitely seems like it. Mikey A takes down KSP again. They're winning these one-on-ones, Harry. Mira is going to get resurrected after all. But the problem is, there's not too many members on the point. That Valkyrie was there for Insomniac, but it's run out. They're going to tick it over. Fusions doesn't want this game to end just yet in the series neither. British Hurricane are on the point. They've got that damage boost from the Mercy as well. Insomniac, his wings get clipped, and British Hurricane finally find theirs. They take one game in the series, and could this be our first game 5 of Contenders Season 2?
The spark is definitely there, Jaws, and it caught us by surprise. Hi! But yeah, during the halftime, Team Momnuki, and we saw, of course, Coach Shifty giving a serious, stern talking to the boys. They stole my line. I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. And the disappointment of your team parents, it'll get to you. And it really set them straight.
Yeah, it really did. I've got to say, it's got to be Happy Cool jumping in. That is definitely the turnaround for the team. And Fusion's receiving a lot more protection. Like you mentioned in the first push, Defense Matrix soaks up a heck of a lot of damage. So good against the double sniper comps. We are going to jump to a short break, guys. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with map number 4 very soon. Didn't quite catch us off guard that time around. Welcome back, everybody. This is British Hurricane versus Bazooka Puppiez. British Hurricane have finally found a map win. Now, 1 up on Bazooka Puppiez. However, still match point to them. It might be our first game 5. We'll have to wait and see. Next map is going to come up very soon. It might be Rialto. We might see that again. However, British Hurricane looking a little bit more revitalized as they bring in Hafikul.
And now, of course, it's the choice of Bazooka Puppiez. They're getting to pick what map we go to for our escort, and that may well make it a little bit tougher for British Hurricane. And we are going to Watch Point Gibraltar, I believe, for the second time in Contender Season 2. And the first time it was Angry Titans. Quite a show. Yeah.
Watch Point, rather interesting map when it comes to it, when you think about it. There's a lot of dive, especially on the first point. You want to be able to take control of that high ground. And we have seen a lot of Rialto, and it is good to see the new map, but I like going back to the old classics, Watch Point especially. El Clasico, exactly that. Now, what are we planning to see here? Because Hurricane, if they do keep in Happy, Cool, and obviously they're going to keep Infusions the main tank, where are they going to look to stretch here?
Well, I imagine we may well see the return of Double Sniper, and maybe Bazooka Puppiez think they can try and bait British Hurricane here into using the triple DPS again, where they were winning out consistently.
Well, it will be Bazooka Puppiez on the defense first. Hurricane on the red on the offense. So yeah, Happy Cool is going to stay with Fusions to round out the tank duo for Hurricane. Now Bazooka Puppiez are going to set up. So we are going to see their comp obviously first because they are just going to roll themselves out the gate. And it will be double sniper with an inch of dive as well. In Tonic and Mete taking the Winston and Diva.
Seems to be a bread and butter of Bazooka Puppiez here, but like we saw on Volskaya, a real weakness of this double sniper composition is that it has very weak point presence, shall we say. You're very much relying on Tonic and Mete to be the people who are contesting whatever objective it may be it an assault point, capture point, or a payload in the case of these escorts. And Tonic, the only real reliable damage mitigation you have is the Winston barrier. It's only got 600 HP, 13-second cooldown. Mete can only keep up with defense metrics for 2 seconds. You quickly become ultimate banks in the face of quite a few DPS. You've got to just hold out long enough for Mirror and KSP to get their jobs done.
Yeah, well, they've certainly been doing that thus far, and I can tell you that for an absolute certainty. The coastal side of Gibraltar, very picturesque.
Still belongs to us.
What's more picturesque? The fight that's going to ensue. Exactly right, Harry. Now, double sniper for British Hurricane as well. Mirror compositions, it seems.
Is indeed. So it's going to be just a little bit of a measuring contest. Whose sniper rifle is bigger, Nesh's or KSP's? And of course, Mirror going head-to-head with Kib right here. Going to have a damage boost from Crusade for a little bit before he swaps over to another target, and a little bit cautious thus far. And you never want to be the first person to die in these sniper duels. You can see that Tonic and Mete are keeping the high ground here. They're going to drop down on the cart when they feel the time is right to make that engagement.
Mirror narrowly avoiding the shot there from the enemy Widowmaker. Happy Cool taking a large chunk of damage though. That Matrix eating up a lot of those shots coming through from both snipers. And in fact, Mirror dicing with death, you've got to say. I mean, 2 tanks and a Hanzo up here. You've got to be careful not to just get clipped and dinged in the head by an arrow. That will one-shot you after all.
Yeah, Kib bringing up the ingenious tactic of using Bucket as a human shield rather than an Omnic shield, and unfortunately the lives have run out before being reassembled by Crusade.
Oh, KSP narrowly goes down, almost goes down. Nesh finds a shot in the body and actually will return the favour. In fact, he ends up falling, and KSP is going to go down also to a leap. Kib making sure Insomniac pays for that attempted res. He's now going to be on the cart. It was pushed all the way here, mind you, by Hurricane. Fusions was on that duty, and with that, that should be the first point cap. British Hurricane, rather sloppy and scrappy fight, but the Puppies end up retreating.
And you can really see one of the weaknesses of the double sniper composition there. The second that KSP took that body shot, even though he wasn't killed, it was effectively the same thing that happened. He retreated away, he was no longer a factor in that fight. And when that angle wasn't covered by KSP, Fusions was free to move forward and get as much damage he wanted onto the support and the backline of British Hurricane.
Speaking of angles, Mirrors don't really have a whole lot of them, but Mirror definitely has an angle on these tanks right now. KSP is going to find the headshot onto Bok, and even Trispear claiming the kill onto Crusade. So rather quick kill there, rather quick team fight there once again. Bazooka Puppiez just routing British Hurricane now, forcing them into a corner. However, maybe a bit more of an eco push for them. I mean, they have full ultimates available. However, Bazooka Puppiez have that Dragon's advantage, and they even have that Transcendence to work with.
So ultimates invested there by British Hurricane, and Mirror's taking a little bit of damage. However, Insomniac set his back to Fusions, buddy. We need to talk.
I tell you, making sure he was funny. KYP, notorious. He's going to take down Mirror, and he's going to clear everybody out. Just make sure his Zenyatta can get to safety, and now that Primal Rage has been unleashed. However, just to get out of danger, it seems like Tonic is going to get discord. Look at his health just instantly forward, double lead. Only just manages to get out. That was 1,000 HP down to 100 in a mere matter of moments.
Do not mess with double sniper. They will mess you up incredibly quickly. And now look at where Nesh is. He had an incredibly forward position. Mete is quick to deny that. Good play from a Diva. And better play from KSP.
Yeah, denied everything from
Notorious KSP now.
Yeah.
He's inherited the title.
Inherited. Is that what's going to happen? Is just going to go backwards and forwards until one of them gets it at the end of the finals of Season 2? We'll have to wait and see. KYB does get resurrected, and in fact, Nesh having a nice little cheeky look over. Does pop the Venom Mine, just wants to stick with his team for the time being, and Fusion's doing a good job of, once again, area denial, and actually finds Trispear caught a little bit out of line from the rest of his team. Nowhere near his tanks as they were respawning, mind you.
And Fusion's can make sure KSP can't make an entry here. Won't be able to get the full kill with that Mercy Pocket there, but can deny deny positioning to these players as they try and make their way in, and no one's on the point. My boy, where you going? You got to touch that car!
Oh, Fusion's batted everybody away, was keeping 3 people held at the lower right door for the entirety of that engagement, Harry. Just meant they can cap the point for free. This is a 4-minute time bank coming in at the last point in Gibraltar. This is going to have to be Puppey's last stand here. They got a problem in the fact that, like you mentioned before, it's very hard for them to touch the point continuously.
Puppey's last stand, and it was also their map pick. Tri-Spear reassembled there by Mercy, but we'll have to see if they'll be able to try and cement themselves here, because of course, the Resurrection won't be available for another 30 seconds. And look at where Nesh is. This is such a commanding position. Mira needs to pull out the clutch here, get that headshot, and try and claim this. But Hafiko, he's already so far forward, putting everyone on notice.
He is indeed, just making sure that car doesn't go any further. Nesh is going to use that grappling hook to safety and almost finds the headshot.
Great.
KSP. Oh my goodness, that was close. I thought they were going to take out each other there for a split second.
Great shepherding from Tonic though.
KSP, no, exactly that. And KSP now just making sure he gets the high ground advantage. And this is where the Widow Jewels and the Widows really come into fruition, really. They're so good at holding down these sightlines, and as soon as one wins over the other, you just have to make sure they're suppressed, and then you can get the advantage in terms of sight.
Mira's feeling frisky, throwing out the Dragons, but Tri-Spear is going to be moving forward and claiming the first kill onto Crusade. The counter-attack from Kib, he's sending out the Dragons, he's feeling lucky himself.
Yeah, Tri-Spear and KSP are just pushed to the side as everybody else is pushed to the other side from Bazooka Puppies. Crusade has that Valkyrie available, almost half their time bank gone already. KSP finds a nice flick shot onto Nesh. He is quickly healed up, however, wasn't quite fully charged to end up finding the kill. Tonic is in trouble, but in fact, apparently Bok is in it even a little bit more. Mira isn't quite receiving the pocket necessary to actually take that one-on-one with the enemy Hanzo. However, KSP used that time to set up on the high ground.
Haviko going to be cruelly staggered here. I wonder if Meta is going to let him go off the side. Maybe we'll give him a quick love tap, a bump on his way. There it is, off the side. See you later, Haviko. Meta just getting one in the kill feed for the Winston's Lab stats, of course. And now Bazooka Puppies, who seem rather cemented on the defense jaws. 2 minutes and 20 is all that remains of British Hurricanes' once glorious time bank.
Yeah, it was about 4 minutes and 20 seconds, yeah, so half of it now gone. Now Bazooka Puppies have 2 things to work with. They have that self-destruct. They have Tri-Spear's Transcendence as well. And we've seen what self-destructs can do already. They really do split the entire team up, and it gives Mira and KSP a chance to actually get in line and get a dominant position, although Nesh proving his dominance on the Widow duel.
Lining up for the headshots there from Nesh. Over Resurrection, of course, will be there. Mete forced to use for self-destruct, and will have a remake, but they're going to be dealing with a primal raging Fusions.
Transcendence from Tri-Spear now moving forward. 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining as the music gets a little bit more serious. The Dragons cut everybody off in the spawn, but they are able to get healed up there as well. Nesh claims a 3rd kill, and KYB is going to find the next onto Tonic. They need to be able to touch this car. It is so close. 5 meters now remain. They're going to Sonic arrow the right-hand side to spot anybody coming out of the spawn. Nesh now in the perfect position to snipe everybody as they just trickle out. KYB, everybody's getting on the kill feed, and you look how quickly that Winston is melting. As soon as you get Discord off, there's nothing stopping you from dying.
I've got a nostalgia throwback cast for you here, Jaws. During Season 1, we had a theory about British Hurricane, saying that they always controlled 75% of the map when they were doing what their game plan said. And I think on this last attack on Gibraltar, we really saw that. We saw the claiming of this high ground ledge here by Nesh and by Mikey A, and they really managed to control the pace of the game from there. Well, they trusted in their front line to do what needed to be done at the doors. We saw Mikey A also locking down the right-hand door with a Sonic Arrow, because people can see the Sonic Arrow. When they come out, they can see the Sonic things coming out through walls as well. Basically, they have their own little mini wall hack as well. People will go out through the right-hand door instead and have to deal with Fusions who was there. So it was more psychological warfare.
Pincer maneuver. And with Nesh, the Widowmaker, on top of that high ground too, on top of that small walkway, it's almost impossible to dislodge him. You have to walk into his sightline first and then try for the kill. However, they had to get on the cart, so it was really a lose-lose situation from there on out. It's so easy to control those doors. They aren't that wide. You can't really get out of them without a monkey kind of body blocking your way, and a Diva too.
And on Nesh is there. Crusade is also incredibly safe. Guardian Angel target always available, who you're just going to be able to get out of dodge to. And you can also, because you don't need to peek as a Mercy, you can just like crouch down on that high ground. You are pretty much invulnerable to snipers unless they make a grapple shot upwards. And even then, they're going to have a hard time getting past Fusions and Hafiko, who are at the door.
What is Fusion's doing?
Fusion's is...
Oh, he's stuck in the jump animation.
Yeah.
I thought that was an emote or something. Like a scary one.
Yeah, like a thriller remote.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. Just with his hands up in the air doing a thriller dance. British Hurricane now on the defense, running with exactly the same composition with Kib on the hands over Nesh on that Widowmaker. Fusions and Hafiko jumping onto the Ducktix.
Could it be real, Trispear? No, it couldn't. Back over to the Mirror. Mirror versus Mirror, just trying to prove who is dominant on these double snipers, and Tonic's already making sure he can ward away the British Hurricane defense who were taking a risky peek.
Yeah, British Hurricane doing a good job there. I mean, you want to just be able to not take the fight fairly early, but get a bit of ult charge. You can see Crusade already in the bank there, 26%, and yeah, a little bit of information too. If they know something's coming quicker, they can adapt to it quicker also when they do back off this far.
And that's incredibly important for Bucket, who is on the Zenyatta. You take a lot much longer to try and change your position when you don't have any kind of maneuverability available like the Zenyatta does. And you can see right now, Crusade isn't standing in one place. He is undivable because he's staying in the air. He can always move over to Nash or Bucket depending on which party of British Hurricane gets dived.
Yeah, Kib is going to get both first up. However, the tank's doing what the tanks did last round. Just sit on this high ground with Kib, just firing storm arrows into them or into the bubble.
Oh, what a
that
flick.
was a flick of a headshot. I would see one. KSP is going to go down. Insomniac is going to get the res. However, those storm arrows might end his life. KSP dodging away is going to be able to escape alive. But look how aggressive Hurricane are being now. Maybe a little bit more so. Kib gets taken fairly low, has to back off to the cart, and that will end their push for the moment.
For those keeping score at home, he is now the notorious KYB again. KSP really taught a lesson there with an arrow through the skull, and you can see that Mete is currently scouting out where British Hurricane are going to be setting up, but it's exactly the same defensive strategy that we saw from the Bazooka Puppies, and it may well be broken the same way. We could see KSP go on a flank around the right-hand side with a little love tap onto Nesh, put him on notice.
Remember how good Diva is at breaking those shields and those bubbles? That's exactly what Mete was trying to do, but problem is his Winston jump first. Tonic had his bubble broken instantly as soon as he landed, meant Bazooka Puppies had to back off rather sharpish. Emphasize available and used by KSP, so they know exactly where they are, but it shouldn't be too much of a surprise. And Nesh even winning out in that Widow do, even though KSP had that available to him. And there is going to be a res. However, the rest of Hurricane once again pushing on that res target. As soon as that Mercy is going for that ability, you know there's going to be a lack of healing on the team.
And Bazooka Puppies seem a little bit lost right now. They don't really know where to put their snipers wherever they go. Nesh or Kib are winning out in those initial duels, or space and sightlines being denied by Fusions and Hafiko. But of course, they've still got half their time bank left. They can still bank up these ultimates. They do have 4 in the bank, but then British Hurricane have 5. They're not forcing any of these out right now.
Oh, death from above, or below, I should say. It did go up and actually force everybody from British Hurricane down below. Kib's going to do exactly the same thing and try and get it onto that high ground to force everybody down. However, everybody was already on the floor. Maybe a small bit of miscommunication there from British Hurricane. They're going to make sure everybody's nice and safe in that server room. However, that big health pack is going to serve wonders for them. And also wonders for Nesh, who did get headshotted by KSP, but he will get resurrected after Happy Cool and Fusions did use their defensive abilities to help them out.
Yeah, some great defense of Crusade there. And Tonic's gone incredibly deep. He's going to need some healing here, but quickly taken out there. Happy Cool shredding through him with a fusion cannon.
He bounced straight onto the dumpster, and that's exactly where he landed.
Yeah,
and ended up.
Stayed there.
Oh my goodness. Kib now moving forwards. They've only got a minute left remaining. Look how aggressive British Hurricane are being, like we just mentioned, Harry. 75% of the map is theirs, 25% is yours. They will chase you if you're on the run.
This belongs to me. It's not yours anymore. And British Hurricane, they are still accruing ultimates here. Kib almost has the Dragon Strike. Ready to go is the Infrasight. And of course, the Infrasight's a boon to both himself and Kib, who can both get these snipes off, and Bucket as well, who's an incredibly accurate Zenyatta and has the Transcendence.
There's a whole lot of things British Hurricane have, and Bazooka Puppies do not have all of anything in cart progress terms. 20 seconds now remain. That was a very close headshot on Fusions actually with the double bait. He was looking at Nesh, didn't quite spot the angry gorilla next to him, and now Bazooka Puppies are getting punished for every step they overtake. Tonic takes out Fusions, and Trispit is going to get rezzed up, so Insomniac is going to be able to use that to get him back into the fight and not wait for the respawn. He's going to force Trispit to actually use that Transcendence. Overtime is there, and someone is on the cards. However, British Hurricane are just going to make sure Bazooka Puppies can't get anywhere near it. There it is, they finally tap it again, but Fusion's taking man and life after life after life. Not sure they're going to be able to do it now. Bazooka Puppies are going to fall. British Hurricane are going to tie up the series as soon as they kill Tonic. Called it a little bit early, but we're going to our first Game 5 of Contenders Season 2.
British Hurricane there with the home team advantage, a stalwart and steeled defense in the face of the scrappy puppies, as we love to call them, but first Game 5. And And you know where we're going, Jules?
Oh boy, it's going to be Ilios, and that will mean there's going to be Widowmaker, there's going to be Hanzo.
It's going to be Farah, potentially.
Potentially as well, and we already said
incredibly impressive on
what Hurricane can pull out. 4 people on their roster can play that Farah.
Question can play Hanzo.
Who is going to do it? Exactly, 4 can play Hanzo too. Everybody can play everything, apparently, on British Hurricane.
Are we going to see Funny Astro back? Funny Astro usually coming in for control, but British Hurricane, their control thus far, out of the 2 games played, so I suppose it's not a huge sample size, but their control thus far, it's been lackluster.
A little bit, and we'll have to see. Bazooka Puppiez did take the first map, remember, on Oasis. Is it going to be the same one-sided story we saw before? We're going to have to wait and find out. Remember, British Hurricane were adamant to stick on that triple DPS and didn't really want to avert from it.
Yeah, and you got to wonder, during the break, was there really some sort of talk, back to basics, we're going to do 2-2-2, what we're known for, what we're good at. Well, I suppose they were a little bit known for triple DPS, but it's not quite as strong in the new meta, or at least that appears to be what we're seeing.
Yeah, Bazooka Puppiez handing them the L on Oasis. We're going to jump onto Ilios, though, is going to be our next map. After this break, guys, we'll see you in a bit. Game 5 is now upon us. Harry, first one of Contenders Season 2, and it's against Puppies and Hurricane.
It is indeed, and guess what? Puppies? 3 members of That's a Disband, and they are hungry for revenge. They were both in Group A in Season 1, and let's just say Disband didn't fare well against British Hurricane.
Nope, not at all, and they're going to want to find revenge on this map. It will be Ilios, and that will mean a lot of sniper play and a lot of Nesh, I can imagine. Remember the roster that British Hurricane did acquire of the off-season. They required the Nesh specialist, the Widow specialist in Nesh. They required Mikey A, who has a seemingly endless hero pool as well. It's up to Puppies now to coordinate what British Hurricane are going to play. They've done it spectacularly thus far. The first 2 maps look so one-sided towards them. And remember, Control Point was the first game type of the day, and they ended up taking that one 2-0.
I'm hoping we continue to see British Hurricane bring out the 2-2-2, and yes, Happy Cool is still in, but they have brought in Funny Astro, known for his Lucio play, and Lucio, he can rule the roost on some of Ilios's maps, especially the well with a large murder pit in the middle where you can boot people in. Really try and make yourself a couple of montage clips, and also on this one, the lighthouse, out of the door into the sea.
Out of the door into the sea. That's exactly where you want to be.
It's like impromptu diving lessons. With Funny Astro.
With Funny Astro, yeah.
Now on DVD and Blu-ray.
Someone should mock that up. On Blu-ray?
Yeah, it's high budget.
Wow.
British Hurricane Academy team, they got
about
money.
HD DVD?
Oh, 4K, man.
Well, that format did not last long, I can tell you that for sure. Does look like Funny Astro actually switching over to the Mercy. They have got Mikey A in the roster, as well as Nesh.
Sit's back as well.
And they are going to be on that Farah Mercy combo, and you're right. Sit is going to be back on that value tracer.
You can see Mikey A, the second he gets up into the air, is afflicted with the Discord Orb sent out from Dry Spear, and so it's going to be moving around the back, trying to be a little bit of a pesky flanker, but he's going to be moving against Nesh, who may have a couple of different plans from. Remember, you can get one shot by it, Widowmaker body shot, if you have a Discord Orb or a Mercy damage boost.
Well, Sit had free access to the back line of the Bok there. He was saved, however, by Funny Astro, who flew right to him, healed him all up. Nesh is going to take the high ground, and that will be a little bit of poke damage as well on the side of Bazooka Puppies. However, they are capping the point, mind you, taking a dominant position. Losing one healer might just lead to a quick turnaround here from Bazooka Puppies if they're not careful.
Sit with some prodigious tracer play right there, taking out the Doctor himself, and now Mikey needs to try and pick up the pieces. Tonic's falling low, but can quickly get healed up. Bazooka Puppies are all over this point.
There you go, Notorious KSP back in the mix, finds the 3K, and Nesh is going to get revived, all to be sent back to spawn, ready to reset for British Hurricane. Only 5% acquired for, oh no, sorry, 11%. I was looking at Bazooka Puppies' time. 11% acquired here for British Hurricane. Not a large time bank, especially on a map like Lighthouse. This map could be very swingy either way, especially when Mikey A gets set up on the far. If you haven't got good sight lines, you're not taking them out quick.
I've got a meaningless stat for you, Jaws. Bazooka Puppies have a 100% map win percentage while Sit is in. He throws himself out a pulse one, but doesn't look like he claimed anything but a bit of damage on Happy Cool's mech, and he's going to try and have to do a little bit more now.
First rocket barrage coming out from Mikey A. Gets swiftly right-clicked by Try Spear, and a nice one clip from the American. Sit ends up making sure Funny Astro has a sit right back down. Insomniac gets the res on Tonic as well. Bazooka Puppies continue to hold.
Tonic may well have been down, but Bazooka Puppies were not out. They didn't need their monkey leader this time. Sit was ready to pick up the pieces and put a clip into Funny Astro's head. Lucio King put down on the Angel.
He wants to switch to Lucio. I can
Give me the
feel it already.
Give me the
frog. I want to push people off the edge, and I want to make sure Sit knows his place. Mikey A still on this far again. Another very hard target to actually pick out the skies. The issue is no one's really focusing him right now. British Bazooka Puppies are more than happy to just kill everybody around him and kill that support network he does have. Beautiful support network coming through from Bazooka Puppies, though, securing that res onto Sit. However, Insomniac is going to get punished by Nesh, just jumping in that bubble and giving him the pulse pistols. Tonic takes the kill out on Bucket, and actually Mete go for the big reset here, buying a lot of time on this point. They know British Hurricane are going to cap in the end, but they just want that couple extra percent. They are on 80, mind you.
Sit's ducking in and out, uses a pulse bomb in a very strange position, but does have the Harmony Orb on him, will end up surrendering the point, and Happy Cool is going to put him down. But Bazooka Puppies, who did accrue 85%. That's pretty good territory for them. They need to win one fight and then maybe some dregs that come in to try and make overtime happen. British Hurricane, however, on the defense are going to be sitting pretty. They've almost got both of their support ultimates. Bok ready with the Transcendence, and of course Funny Astro will now have the Valkyrie to support Mikey A when he goes in for that barrage.
Secret Agent Nesh on the back lines wants to find a stick onto somebody. It looks like he's found Funny Astro and gets him as well. Nothing saving you from that. Nesh eliminating Insomniac. is going to make sure they have a lot of healing now for this next push. He's going to find his way back as well and survive it also. And with Mikey A taking out KSP, that's going to leave Tri-Spear just running back to spawn with his tail between his legs. Now it's got Transcendence, but it looks like it's going to be another go again with Fusions getting the Resurrect.
I feel like there's a breaking of nerve here from British Hurricane. They got the stick that they needed to make this work, but they still invested 2 ultimates after that. Tri-Spear's leading his team forward with a Transcendence.
Transcendence to heal everybody up. They are going to chase the rest of British Hurricane off that point, maybe get a little bit of extra time. Self-destruct in the doorway from Meta. Fusions ends up going down to Meta, was trapped between a wall and a self-destruct. No resurrection for you, and with Nesh taking out Tri-Spear, however, they might just be able to turn this one around. Insomniac had that Discord orb on him, and Nesh was chasing him down, but a quick reset will make sure they're going to be able to get back to the point in time. The point will, however, remain in British Hurricane's favour.
Quick lapse there from Fusions, but is quickly brought back into the fight as well, and British Hurricane have built up towards another Valkyrie for this defense. 90% now on the clock, and Bazooka Puppiez, what was a commanding lead, is slipping between their paws.
Nesh is going to do it once again. Doesn't have the pulse bomb, but has got the flank. Doesn't want to dice with death with the hands. Oh, Storm Arrow will pretty much end you instantly. Tri-Spear is going to go down, however, and Tonic is in the back line. Very close he is to death, however. Nesh is going to have to play this one perfectly. Overtime is there. British Hurricane still have control of the point. They have to be able to touch it now. Mete finally gets in there, but another pulse bomb from Sid goes a little bit wide. Another kill, though, from him isn't going to be all too good for British Hurricane as Fusions ends up going down, as Funny Astro was rezzing Mikey A. Insomniac gets chased down once more by Nesh. He's got his number, but he hasn't got Tri-Spears. They do end up capping the point once again, and the Dragons are there to split the rest of British Hurricane up. KSP finds 2, and Sid finds another. Mikey A still alive on the point, however, as Nesh goes for the recall, but ends up going down anyway, as Mikey A finds a quad kill.
The 4-piece to finish it all off. Overtime is going to tick over right now. I don't think anyone from Bazooka Puppiez can get there.
Insomniac's on the Lucio, the emergency frog to try and get and touch the point in time. Overtick time is ticking down. They're going to need to be able to touch it, but it wasn't quite enough. Lighthouse will end up going to British Hurricane.
Revenge was in the grasp of Bazooka Puppiez, but now Hurricane looking, I can't believe I'm saying this, Jaws, to secure their first win of the Contenders season. They are one stage of Ilios away from dragging themselves back into Group A, tooth and nail, and Fangs are out.
Well, it's going to be our next map in Ilios, and you got to think British Hurricane were probably really hoping for Ruins so Nesh could set up on that Widowmaker, but Mikey A has been playing a mean Pharah, a lot of boops to be had, and I want to see if Funny Astro is going to stick on the Lucio. I doubt it, probably just a speed boost out the gate and then a change up to Mercy to support Mikey A.
But when it comes to bringing a Pharah into the air, you've got to fear the god himself, the notorious KSP will be there to meet you with the Widow's Kiss, and Mikey A is already taking so much damage here, he's going to have to fly low, and it's going to demand a lot of attention from Funny Astro.
That is a funny spectator bug if I ever did see one. Nesh is going to have a nice little sightline on the left-hand side of the lighthouse there. You can see just Tonic just hanging around for the time being. Mikey A is going to have a lot of protection here on the right-hand side, but the problem is with this, he can't really get too much damage down on these enclosed spaces, which is exactly where he wants to be. That'll be a nice dive from Fusions, which will mean he will go down, and Mikey A now is completely free in the skies. No one really there to deal with him.
And he's going to get set on the rebound as well. The one shot from the rocket will remove him from the map. And despite some love taps from Spawn from KSP, British Hurricane will gain initial control of the well. And now they are going to be in the position that you want to be with the pharmacy. Like we talked about on Oasis, the defensive pharmacies are much more effective because you can pummel Bazooka Puppiez as they try and come down these narrow Greek corridors into that central area. And while you're doing that, it means that they have to stand back, they have to get healed up, they waste time, or they make a half-hearted engage with less health than they would at like.
Mikey A has 60% ultimate charge right now. He already secured a quad kill last time. Sid almost found the 1 clip. He ends up finding the 2 instead. A pulse bomb gets thrown out, but it gets completely eaten by Haffy. Sid's going to go back onto the point, but Mikey A is going to be there for the redemption kill. Pocket is going to get resurrected as well. Mikey A just chases the monkey in. Tonic had nowhere to go. Mikey A, this is just cruel at this point.
Putting down a puppy with a tactical carpet bombing, that's not what I would call a measured use of force, but Mikey A thought it was good enough anyway. Sometimes, Jaws, it's about sending a message, and British Hurricane are ready to send a message that they are back in Contenders. There was a shaky start. They had one engine fail as they started off this season, but now the engineers have seen to it. They are running fast. The RAF is flying high.
It is indeed, and so is Nesh as he's trying to spot out Insomniac. Finds the body shot, not quite the headshot. Self-destructs launch over to try and dislodge the composition of British Hurricane, but it's not quite worked out just yet. A flying monkey, not where Tonic really wants to be, is going to release that Primal Rage, however, to try and get a boop off into the pit, and is going to find one, in fact. Happy and his mech sink to the bottom of the well, but Fusions is going to pay the price on KSP. He actually finds Bok as well. Tonic's on a rampage, ends up finding 3.
The mad lad.
2 with the Primal Rage,
one.
and Happy is going to, Nesh is going to soon to follow. KSP finally finds the kill on Mikey A. A 4K for the monkey, and they are reclaiming the point.
I'm in awe of Tonic. The absolute unit managed to drag Bazooka Puppiez back into this round. 88% was gained there for British Hurricane, and Nesh is going to start to open this one up. KSP's down, but possibly in a place where a resurrection is possible, and Insomniac is going to make that happen. It's not going to be up for 30 seconds. You've got to play a little bit more careful now, but Sid didn't get the memo.
All right, Mikey A on the far, well, switching off the forest ground to the Tracer, has had enough with that Widowmaker shenanigans. Tonic again, harassing the backline, goes extremely low, instantly followed up by Happy is going to claim the kill. Nesh, however, falling as well. So 1-for-1 trade, a DPS for a tank player right now. With a resurrection onto Nesh is going to be rather safe
Get on the point.
for British Hurricane to actually operate. They're going to be able to get back onto the point. The Iris has been transcended into, but inside that bubble, Mete is going to get kept alive. British Hurricane at 88%, and they're reclaiming the point, Harry.
They're almost there. Sid starting in and out, trying to stall the progress as it moves forward, but Fusions is in the backline, going absolutely ape.
What are these Winster kills? I don't know what they are. Sid ends up almost finding a kill onto Nesh. Almost got the one clip, but didn't quite make it land. He's going to get back on the point with an inch to spare. He ends up not quite contesting it. 90% and counting for British Hurricane.
And now Mete's gone down as well. The Drakes of Bazooka Puppiez are coming in. Their last hope. It's almost there.
Mikey A finds Sit, and now Mikey A moving forward over time. The Candlewick is burning through. They're going to chase down the Winston. Is going to use that leap to escape. That's a lot of time now wasted for Bazooka Puppiez. Insomniac falling as well. That massive AoE healing aura from the Lucio not available to them either. The dregs of Bazooka Puppiez are fading away, and now British Hurricane, they've got the old bank to work with too. KSP trying to find a couple of entry kills, but it's not going to work. With Mikey A falling, that just leaves Nesh open, a free range for him. Finally, Tonic trying to do something about it, but it's all too little too late. KSP's going to go down as well. Mete's Meg is going to sink to the bottom of the Greek Ocean as Fusions fights yet another boot kill. British Hurricane finally pulling back in this series and in Contenders. They want to make their name known, and they want to make sure everybody is going to fear them this time around. Mikey A gets the smack and the recall, and British Hurricane find their first win of Season 2.
Our first Game 5 of Contenders in the second season, and our first season's champions have restated that they are here to play. They are not going to be falling out of the sky today. They are flying moderately high. It was a 3-2.
It was a 3-2, and those map wins are also important too for Bazooka Puppiez. It was so close, but British Hurricane, they found this win, this ignition spark to send them back in, and just with that revigored in that third map. Fusions looked a bit down, defeated in the first 2, and in fact a 2-0 on this one, a complete contrast from what it was on Oasis.
It was such a contrast, but I don't know about you, Jaws. That was a very long and explosive set. We're a little bit tired out, so we're going to pass over to our lovely analysts, who we're going to break down what just happened.